That human-sized piece of garbage there threw that pit bull mix over the top of a barbed wire fence enclosure at a cell phone tower area in Riverside, California. Of course, it was caught on film because there's a video above that, I guess, to see people doing things like tampering with it or throwing dogs over fences with barbed wire on the top. The dog was microchipped, and so the whereabouts of that former owner / piece of garbage was discovered. Let's go to some details. Spokesperson for the Riverside County Department of Animal Services said maintenance workers managed to find the 8-year-old pit bull mix after less than 2 hours before Officer Michael McGee took the pet to a nearby shelter. An RDAS spokesperson said that the dog is microchipped, and officers used that information associated with that chip to try and locate the man at a Temecula address. It appears he's no longer a resident there, and the phone number provided for the chip is not allowing incoming calls. Also, the dog's name apparently they said was KO. And records indicate that it was owned by Robert Ruiz Jr., who's 30 years old. And Animal Services will be seeking an arrest warrant for him for willful abandonment of an animal based on footage and additional information. Let's go to this post. Apparently the dog's name is actually Ken. Oh, come on, Ken. And Stand Up for Pits Foundation posted about this as they were trying to unsuccessfully take the dog in from that general shelter that, as we know, euthanizes dogs on a regular basis because of how many that they have. So this particular dog, they figured, deserves a bit of a break considering what he's already been through. But there was issues with that. There was a back and forth where they said, we're waiting for personal owners, potentially private owners, to maybe come and adopt the dog. All that went back and forth. But eventually, after all was said and done, yes, we're cutting back to the back of this because there was frustrating parts back and forth on this correspondence. But Ken was not going to be adopted. But let's jump down to this last link and graphic, you guys. We're graphic 9. They did point out that looks like he has been adopted. Look how cute this was. Dump dog update. Jennifer from Orange County saw the video of the abandoned dog, and she felt compelled to drive down to Jurupa Valley to give Ken his new home. And there's some videos and pictures. Good work on Jennifer. I'm sure tons of people wanted to. That was sad to watch. Ben, do you have pets? Cats, dogs? And can you imagine this happening?
Okay, I grew up with animals. I wish I could have pets, but I have like really, really terrible allergies. And so like I just can't breathe around them. But like one part of this story I want to focus on, which is really just like the dog was 8 years old, right? The dog was 8 years old. So this man probably had this dog for several years, if not the entire 8 years, probably like an extended period of time. Like, what? Like, how can you be like, I don't understand how somebody can be so cruel to an animal. I mean, literally, they're just like sweet little creatures. Like, I think that detail really just kind of like is just unbelievably infuriating with this story. And it kind of speaks to like this whole like just idea that a lot of Americans have, not only with pets, but also with children, that they're property, right? But the thing is, when it comes to, if it comes to like pets and children, and I know a lot of people might think it's weird to lump these in together, but they're responsibilities, right? You getting a pet is you committing to a responsibility, right? Like fundamentally, at the end of the day. It is another
enhancing their lives.
Yeah, exactly, right? You're taking responsibility for another creature, right? And so you have a responsibility to them. They're not your property. You don't get to do whatever you want with them. They're their own little being that you are just there to like help through life.
Yeah, and the fact the guy can go home and go to sleep after that, and I think, I wonder how KO Ken is doing. Who cares? But even you saw that the dog walked to the edge of the fence and was still looking like, we're leaving? What happened? We're going? It's just sad. It's the extra icing on this depressing cake. But I'm glad at least he was adopted. No killings happening for Ken. But also, let's still find this Ruiz guy. Maybe they have by now. We'll see. This all started breaking yesterday.